Welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for November 23rd, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 11. And the number 11 is a number that expands us once again beyond the known and into the unknown. The unknown does not have to be scary if it is part of a dreaming potential that you are intending to reach for. I often wonder why we are so scared to be our best self. When we are authentically aligned with our core essence, it should feel natural, organic, comfortable, and easy to be in our own skin. That restrictive feeling inside is a false self that holds us back. It can be a self that others projected onto us, and perhaps at one time we even invited or wanted. But over and over again, I find that even the projection that had the best intention is still not who we really are. And eventually, we have to find the courage to reach beyond all projections, agendas, and reflections of our own ego mind. When we allow what is so beautiful and magnificent to evolve naturally and emerge in its own time, then what flowers is stunning, enlivening, and aligned with our own perfect moment. The astrology today. Today is a day that might end up feeling more intense than we intended, but just be prepared for that. There may be no exact way through it all, but if we are willing to move through the obstacles calmly, we will still make headway. Venus is in a minor square to Neptune and a Mercury trine. This gives us a tendency to want to look at things through a colored lens, but that outcome may not be the best either. It might be better if we just deal with the reality and not make anything into what it is not. Our intuition seems on the surface, and it seems that we can sense what another needs more easily. As we come into the holidays, feeling into what others need could be very helpful. Listen to those hunches and don't try to analyze them. Rather, just let ourselves discover and follow what is arising. Neptune is in Pisces, and with the moon also in Pisces, puts feelings right on the surface. And then, when they interact with Mercury, Pluto, and Jupiter, it can make us want to get away from the normal reality. Perhaps it is time to just stop and let some energy drain away. We might be in the mood to spend some time alone and just get some things in order. After all, the holidays are coming, and there's nothing like feeling a clean and well-organized home, even if we're the only ones there. And my quote for today. It's less of a quote, more of like an idea or a fun suggestion to kind of put out for the holidays. So what about starting this holiday to do a new ritual? And I know that we have rituals, but some of those rituals we can't do at the moment. So to include all the family and the ancestors that are dead and on the other side, perhaps do a circle of gratitude and say, what I love the most about you is, and what I have done that made the biggest impact in my life was, and the moment that I will always remember is. I remember many years ago that we gave my grandfather, my mother's father, a book that was about his family, and it had these questions in it, and he got to fill out the questions. And, it was like, what do you remember the most about your mother? What do you remember the most about your grandmother? Things like that, the impact that they had. And I'll never forget my grandfather. We were reading the book and we were shocked because, what he said about his mother was, what do I remember the most about my mother was that she never touched me. We were like, what? She never touched you? And, he said, no, she was, we were on a farm and she was super busy and she was up at like 3 a.m. baking bread and making pies and having breakfast ready and having biscuits done. And then, getting the lunches for the guys and doing the laundry. And he said, I just remember her, constantly in movement. But she just wasn't a hugging person. And we were like, wow, really? What would it be to have a mother that loved you, sort of, but never touched you, right? So this can be sort of an interesting thing if you pull in the ancestors, like, what do you remember about your grandmother that's dead? What is inconsistent that, you're curious about, maybe somebody else in the circle would know, and maybe do like a Zoom, holiday where everybody gets to say something and talk and contribute in some way. I think it might be fun to start some new rituals, because I think, I love Ho'oponopono, which is I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. And the I'm sorry, please forgive me can be a little tricky at the holidays, but that there's ways to say it. It's like I'm sorry for being a brat when I was a teenager. Please forgive me for not noticing when you were in pain that time that you were really struggling in your marriage. You can do it that way. That it's less about maybe something hard, but something gentle. So, okay, and my blog for today. I finally decided to unpack my suitcases that were ready for us to bug out in case of a fire. As I was doing that, I decided to sort, organize, and get rid of things that are really not worth hanging on to. It always feels really refreshing to do that. Perhaps it's the feng shui of it all. There is a time and place to let go of things, and this was one of them. It is a great thing to do. I try to give things to the senior center here in Willits. It's kind of like the Salvation Army store or the Deseret Industries in Utah. It's interesting how in cleaning things up, I rediscover lost items and get the excitement of reclaiming things that have been missing in the chaos of life. In this process, I found my favorite necklace from Nepal. And it's made of an old piece of Nepalese turquoise, and it's smooth and oily from being worn for decades, and it's filled with the energies of those that previously wore this necklace, because it's actually an antique stone, and it feels so positive when I wear it. There are a few things in life that hold energy beyond this time and space, and this necklace is one of them. I think of the men and women that wore it while meditating, praying, and it gives me strength and joy. Nepalese turquoise is thought to bring protection. In fact, children are often given turquoise at a young age to protect them and to keep them from falling down. It is considered to have spiritual powers as well as being beautiful. It is viewed as a sky stone, brought to earth from the heavens above. The Nepalese also believe that the stone should not be cut, as it alters the magic held within the stone. They believe that the stone is sort of a mood stone, meaning that it takes on various colors when the owner's health alters. Turquoise will get paler and paler as the person's health fails, and then eventually die. But then once a new owner takes a hold of the stone, it will turn to a full color and intensity. They also believe it will turn pale if you are being attacked by evil. It is a token of love by the Himalayan people, and the color will remain full as long as that love is strong. May each of you find such a special object and enjoy the good energy that it has accumulated over time with it, and add some of your own to pass down to another when you leave this world. Thanks, everyone.